Welcome to the theiLife.com podcast, episode number 3. It's been almost a month since we were last with you, and we have to apologize for it. After Macworld, we haven't had that much time to record, no time to record at all, and we came to you with a few kind of journal entries from Macworld, but, well, this is our wrap-up. We finally managed to get together today, and we're glad that you're with us.
Yeah, so basically our trip started with me winning a super pass from the Mac Observer, and then
You
Sydney
visited
became,
a lot over that month. You went almost every day to sign up for that contest.
Right. About the contest, you enter your name once a day for almost a month, and they randomly drew 2 names for Super and Platinum Pass winners, and I won the Super Pass. So that got me to Macworld, and up until about a week before Macworld, he wasn't going.
I was going to be sitting at home, managing the Keynote feed, and editing and observing and having fun from there. But we met with our school's robotics team for their whole kickoff celebration, and we're talking about it, and someone said to me, well, why don't you go to Macworld? Or I think it was actually you said that you had a bunch of free passes to the show floor.
Right,
So,
which is another story. I obtained a bunch of complimentary passes to the show floor from an exhibitor who was going there. So I offered one to Sydney to go out, and
I had no idea that I would be actually doing that. It didn't seem feasible at all, but over the next few hours, I ended up with tickets to San Francisco and a hotel room, and for the first time, I was going to Macworld.
So that's how we got there. We left Saturday the 12th from Newark, New Jersey, and flew the 5,009 miles, whatever, over to San Francisco. Got there. We were around for Saturday night, and Sunday we actually went out to the Moscone Center and
Talked to some security guards.
yeah, we actually got into the South Hall, and there was not much going on, but there's a media crew just filming some things, and some security guards and people setting things up, and we were just sort of wandering around taking pictures until someone came up to us and said that we were not allowed to be in here. So,
But it was amazing how nice they were about it, at least at first, that we were messing with the registration computers, and
yeah.
the techs who were setting them up were standing right behind us.
Talking to us, actually, we asked them a question, but then we decided to try our luck in the West Hall and quickly got kicked out. You could maybe see our expo video in that we have footage of us getting mysteriously stopped by a security guard. So it's
Who mysteriously appeared out of nowhere.
right, an Apple security guard. They were everywhere. I guess security's a lot tighter in the West Hall because that's where the keynote actually happened.
And they also decided to mess with us by telling us that registration was on Tuesday.
Oh yeah, that too. Registration was on Monday. So
Yeah.
we then went on to explore other parts of San Francisco and came back on Monday morning for registration. And we were not first in line for that one, but we got online with everyone else and slowly moved our way around. In about 30 minutes, we were in and got registered.
It was one of those nice kinds of lines where it's a huge line, but it moved amazingly quickly.
Right.
Mm.
And then once we got registered, I got my Axiotron badge because there's another Matthew Dodd who works for Axiotron who had a user conference badge, and I obtained it without any photo ID, mind you. And then I had to sort it out and get my super pass through the IDG, and it was a mess. But it actually, what ended up happening was they just upgraded Matthew Dodd from Axiotron's user conference badge to a super pass, again with no photo ID involved. So I went
The
around.
authentication was your zip code.
Not even. That was an optional input. You just entered your name and your first and last name, and a list came up, and you just select whatever it is. But anyway, so you could read more detail about these happenings at our site, of course. But then as soon as we finished registering, he went and took his place first in line, even though he only had a floor pass.
Yeah, you went off to your Apple Script conference, which you entirely deserved. But and then no one had any expectation of starting the keynote line at that point. So I mean, this wasn't a promotional thing. We were never planning to be first in line for the keynote. We just I remember the day before said, hey, maybe we should be first in line to the keynote. So yeah, then at 10 o'clock in the morning, went sat down and set up our little camp, put up the theiLife, the line starts here sign, and that was the beginning of it.
Yeah. So I basically throughout the day was just going back and forth and visiting him, but mostly to my AppleScript conference. And so then as the night came, I came back out and we charged all of our gadgets inside and actually managed to get power outside through making some friends at the Moscone Center. So we were actually pretty set. We had an N95 with 3G access from the Digital Lifestyle through Moglis. So we were live casting for the digitallifestyle.tv.
And we got permission from them to hijack its data connection for our own uses.
Right. Yes.
Which is awesome.
It's great. So we had internet and power, and we were good. We spent a lot of time coding our Keynote updater, which ended up working out great. In fact, we had threats made to us from our hosting provider to discontinue service because of high usage of the servers. Not bandwidth, it was the actual consumption of
the CPU and the RAM. I need to work on optimization, but every time there was a refresh, there was a script running on the site that checked to see if there were any new updates and sent them to the user. And that, with the surprising number of people checking our feed, that put a pretty huge load on the server. And anyone who saw 503 errors while they were trying to initially load the page...
That's actually a result... No, the server was fine. That's a result of them limiting our usage of it. So about 20 minutes into the keynote, they noticed what was going on and limited the usage, which brought you the 503 errors. That was not our fault. And hopefully next year we'll have a better plan through them, and that won't happen. But that's what happened this year. But it was all right. From hearing from people who used it, it wasn't too bad with the 503s.
And, of course, we also got our SMSs out there pretty effectively.
Right. The SMS went fine. So that was great. Of course, we're always listening for feedback, so feel free to contact us if you had any problems or suggestions. But yeah, moving on. So I was at the keynote. Sydney did not get in.
Well, actually, we forgot a couple things. The whole split in the line, that was...
Oh, yeah.
That was something that they'd never done before at any Macworld.
Right.
It's kind of annoying.
They decided to split the line into 3 parts. For any familiar with the area, basically you have Howard Street and 4th Street, and they lined up the general users down Howard Street and the Super and Platinum Pass, along with the media, down 4th Street. So we were there because I had my Super Pass and I wanted to get in, and he was just hoping that he could get in.
Either way, though, we ended up sitting alone for most of the time. We were here with starting off the Platinum Super Pass line, and then over on Howard.
Right, around the corner was everyone else.
The Google Tents and Engadget and all those people.
Yeah, so I mean, we were visiting them back and forth, but it just kind of
sucked.
Yeah, not being with the line in its entirety, because we started lining up with a couple of people up until about 3 p.m. or so, and then they came out and split us. So what can you say? We did it, and it was a lot of fun either way.
But if you're planning on waiting online, don't get a Super Pass or anything. Get a regular conference pass, and you'll get to have fun.